Second area, healthcare. Anyone here today involved in healthcare at any level? Oh, wonderful. Again, welcome. Great to have you. We're honoured. AI will help us in the next 5 years with personalised medicine. It gives us the ability to analyse the history, the genetics, the lifestyle of an individual patient and come up with even more targeted diagnoses and treatment programs. Early disease prevention and detection. Looking at potential infections, helping us produce early interventions would have been helpful during COVID-19. AI will help us with surgical robotics. Robots are getting very good now at doing complex operations. In fact, in some operations, they've proven to be better than the human surgeon, and they're extremely good for remote surgery with the surgeon in one location and the patient in a completely different one. AI will drive that forward even further. Now, I'm not suggesting we're going to have robo-doctors or robo-surgeons. The AI will just augment, not usurp, the role of the human doctor. There are some areas where we're going to need humans in the loop with technology, and this is one of them. Drug discovery, huge libraries of drug compounds or potential compounds can be studied using AI, helping us to develop more targeted drugs than we have today. Nanobots, one of my favorite subjects. Microscopic machines built from the atomic level up, usually using chemicals or cellular materials similar to that in the body, which can be injected into your bloodstream to take out harmful cells and leave the good cells alone. And you might think that's sci-fi, but Wi-Fi was sci-fi not that long ago. The latest research is into nanobots that can take out certain cancer cells. That's exciting. Virtual care, remote monitoring, remote diagnosis for people who have very little access to medical services. Population health management. For those of you planning health scenarios, this is important. Being able to identify ethnic groups, socioeconomic groups, perhaps racial groups who are likely to be more affected by a certain type of condition or disease. We saw that with COVID-19 that happened. It will be helpful as we plan for potential future pandemics. And one more here on healthcare, government oversight. It's very important. AI will be able to provide to local authorities and national politicians scenarios, models of what their policies will look like in real terms across populations before they're even enacted. Now, I know on the back of COVID, we all know that predictive models are not always super accurate. But AI is getting more accurate in its predictions over time, and I think we'll see, as long as discerning humans are in the loop, that this will be a great tool. Third area where AI could influence Norwich, and Norwich could be a leader in AI, is in terms of jobs. I'm asked a lot about this in the media. What does AI mean for the future of jobs? And of course, there are certain jobs where AI could be extremely helpful, particularly areas like advanced manufacturing, in precision engineering or aerospace engineering, very useful in digital tech and creative industries, an area that Norwich is already moving in. I won't say too much about that. Renewable energy, though, could be big for Norwich with AI. I know there's already a strong push in Norwich toward being a leader in renewables. I think with AI you could go even further, and particularly in areas like wind farms and offshore mobile wind farms, where the turbines can be towed anywhere out to sea and turned to pick up the maximum wind yield, all driven by AI predictive. Very useful. Life sciences and biotech. It is possible, because AI is moving so quickly and doesn't always require a huge investment of funds, that somewhere like Norwich could stand alongside cities like Oxford, London and Cambridge when it comes to development of AI and AI-related jobs. Cambridge, many of you know about the Silicon Fen, 900 high-tech companies within one small region of Cambridge, and 25% of all venture capital related to technology in this country goes through that one region of Cambridge. That's remarkable. I'm not saying that would necessarily happen for Norwich, but I think you could stand alongside those in coming up with new uses for AI. Against that, of course, the pressure of unemployment and underemployment. A recent study by Oxford University and Deloitte suggested that 850,000 public sector jobs will be lost to automation by 2030. That's a lot of jobs, ladies and gentlemen. 850,000 in the public sector alone. Another study by Oxford Economics suggested that something like 20 million manufacturing jobs will be lost globally by 2030, 14 million of those in China. And there's the problem of underemployment, where people have a job, but it's not enough to meet their basic needs. Not just their economic needs either, but their psycho-emotional needs. You know, we look to work to provide things like creativity, overcoming struggles, solving problems as part of our sense of meaning as human beings. Work gives us that. Work gives us the ability to feel productive, like we're adding value beyond our own selves to a bigger entity. These are important parts of human meaning. So this will be a challenge in the age of AI when it comes to jobs. Jobs most at risk in Norwich, and this part is a bit predictable, but let me do it anyway, are those that involve repetitive tasks. Transportation is big in Norwich because of where you sit in relation to the country and Europe, especially road transportation. This will be affected by driverless and semi-autonomous cars. They're not prolific yet, but they will be much more prolific in 5 or 6 years. Administration support for most of the country is already a challenge because of software and chatbots and other forms of AI-driven apps. Manufacturing jobs, we've seen a real change in the last few years because of Industry 4.0 in Europe generally. That's the replacement of large-scale factories with smaller production units, each of them taking out just one of the many tasks a factory would do, and they're all hooked up via the internet. And we're moving very quickly now into the age of the smart factory. I was talking on CNBC about this not long ago. The smart factory where we're completely governed, we're completely run in the factory by self-regulating, self-repairing machines. And some wit quipped recently, I wish I'd said it, that the factory of the future, in the office there'll be one man and one dog, and the man's job will be to feed the dog, and the dog's job will be to bite the man if he touches anything. That's kind of where we're moving with Industry 4.0. Now, new technology always brings new work. I know that. That's true all through history. New technology means new forms of work. But the question for us, ladies and gentlemen, in this time is, can we retrain people quickly enough to take advantage of those new careers before AI takes them? Now, less at risk, and if you're a parent with a student in high school or you're a teacher, it's helpful to know this. There are at least 3 types of job that are fairly well protected, even in the age of AI, in terms of where futurism stands. The first one is jobs that require not just creativity, because machines can be, in a sense, creative, but off-the-wall creative. Blue skies, out of the blue, something completely different than's ever been done before creative. Because remember, AI is fed by human-generated material. It's basing itself pretty much on the status quo and taking things from there. But if you can come up with ideas outside of the norm, you have a better shot at keeping going and building something. Social interaction skills, going to be very important. One thing machines cannot do, ladies and gentlemen, is empathize. One human quality machines cannot really reproduce is empathy, because there is no shared human experience, which is the basis of empathy. By definition, a machine cannot have that. So empathy is extremely important for us as human beings going forward, that we learn to play up that part of our role, and we learn to encourage people to study in areas that require those intense personal skills. Now, of course, AI can imitate through social bots what empathy looks like. A social bot can read your emotions through the facial signals as you speak and then respond in kind. Smiley face if you sound and look happy, sad face if you don't. Even the tone of voice can change with AI now. But we still know that's not the real thing. And sometimes we just need to have a human interact with us for that shared human experience. And the other area that is ring-fenced is ethics. Ethics is going to be more important to us over the next 5 years than it's probably ever been, I would suggest, in modern times, certainly in history. But in modern times, it will be more important in the next 5 years. Every small company in this city will want access to the work of a professional ethicist where technology is concerned. And if they can't get it directly because it's too costly, they will look to organizations like, say, the Institute of Directors to have an ethicist on the board ready to give advice on certain specific issues, because things are changing so quickly. Things are moving so fast. We need help to draw the line between pragmatism and ultra-pragmatism. Now, every business person here knows that pragmatics is a good thing. Making a profit's what it's partly about. Getting a result, that's pragmatic. But ultra-pragmatism is where we say, if a thing can be done, it should be done. If it can technologically be achieved, we should do it now. That's never been a good move in history for an individual human to live that way, or for any people group to do so. And we'll need help to delineate between progress and progressivism. Again, progress, good thing. Progressivism, all change is good change. Not a good policy on which to build anything. So ethics are going to be hugely important going forward.